Deadpool has had a storyline that has been going on for a very long time now. It's known as the Jerry Dugan run for Deadpool. That is the main storyline, and I'm going to give you the link down below, but it has basically led to Deadpool working with S.H.I.E.L.D., Deadpool then becoming a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. and trying to become a superhero, discovering that he has a daughter, working with a potential family to raise his daughter, while then leading an Avengers team, and then eventually all of that went to crap because of Secret Empire and him killing Phil Coulson. Now the entire Marvel Universe is out to get Deadpool because he killed Phil Coulson. Enjoy some of Deadpool's final moments in the universe. In our last video, we watched as Deadpool was tasked by Cable's evil clone Strife to kill 4 specific people, starting with Cable himself. Though Deadpool managed to kill Cable, it was an alternate timeline Cable who was already on his deathbed. Upset that the situation had been manipulated, Strife told Deadpool that the next 3 people that he needs to kill will have to be in this timeline, or his family dies. As the employees of a tech store groan in pain, Deadpool opens up a laptop telling Strife to go ahead. Strife asks, "Are we on a secure line?" And Deadpool says, "Sure, just give me the next name so I can get this over with." And Strife tells him, "All right, the next person that you need to kill is..." A short while later at the Daily Bugle, Deadpool, wearing a terrible Strife costume, yells, "Irene Merriweather! It is I, Strife, Cable's evil twin, and I have come for you!" Irene looks up from her desk, telling the person that she's on the phone with that she's going to have to call them back. A guard grabs Deadpool and laughs. "Okay, let's go, Shredder." Deadpool spins around, punching the guard, yelling, "Unhand me, you knave!" And Irene asks if this is a bit or something. Is Cable in trouble? Deadpool sighs and says that he's really sorry about this, and he stabs Irene in the chest. The next day at the mall, Deadpool holds up a newspaper with the headline, "Masked Lunatic Kills One of Our Own," with a picture of Irene on it. Strife tells him, "Good, now on to the third. Your young friend in future apocalypse, Evan Sabanur, must die." Deadpool grabs his gun and shoots the laptop, shouting, "Absolutely no way is Evan going to die." But as the night comes, Deadpool tries to figure out what to do. Kill Evan, the child that he killed once, brought back to life, and is now practically the godfather for. Or let Ellie die, his own actual daughter. Neither one of them dying is really an option. So rather than face the problem, he decides to pay a visit to the one person who started all of this, the Hail Hydra Captain America, Steve-L Rogers. As Steve-L sleeps in his cell, he wakes up to the sound of Deadpool whispering, "Wakey, wakey." Steve-L looks at a snake on his chest, and Deadpool says that he figured that he would like serpents, so he brought him one. A shame the poor chimpanzee with a revolver couldn't make it. Not even acknowledging the snake, Steve-L sighs, telling him, "I was wondering when you would show up. Oh, and how you regarded how our new American empire ended." Deadpool shouts, "Ended? How about how it began? I killed Coulson for you even before hearing you say the words Hail Hydra. And because of that, you're going to tell the prosecutors that it was an order from you and clear my name." Steve-L tells him, "Rather than incriminate myself, I would like to exercise my 5th Amendment and not talk." Deadpool yells, asking, "Is this how other people feel when they talk to me? It's like I'm losing my mind. If Maria Hill hadn't betrayed me, none of this would have happened." Steve-L says, "On that point we can agree. Maria Hill has much to answer for. Either I'm a lie or the world around me is." But Deadpool stands there with Steve-L looking at him, and he smiles, asking, "Why are you really here? Is it because you're not being honest with yourself and you're going to help me escape?" Deadpool starts laughing as he pulls out a small canister and begins to shake it. He pours the contents into the toilet, stating, "My life is ruined, and I'm going to repay the favor. Since you're going to rot in prison for 1,000 years, I'm going to rob you of the one thing that you have here: sleep." Steve-L grabs the snake off his chest, crushing its head, and throws it against a wall as he watches Deadpool leave. And Deadpool calls back, "Also, I'm taking something else. Your toilet. Have fun crapping in the corner." Just then, the orange gas starts to rise out of the toilet, and a few seconds later, it shatters, flooding the cell with water. As Deadpool leaves, he steps through the metal bars that he cut, and he looks at the chimpanzee Caleb, and he tells him that he's sorry. In retrospect, he should have given him roller skates. Now he's just trained a chimpanzee to shoot a revolver for nothing. He turns back to the tied-up guard, yelling, "Next time you want to shoot someone, shoot them. I'm going to be breaking into this prison a lot over the next couple of years." Deadpool then heads outside to his getaway ride. At his getaway ride, a hot air balloon. He pulls the lever, and as the balloon begins to lift off, he yells, "Up, up, and away!" But as he slowly escapes, some of the prison guards spot him, and they open fire on the slow-moving object. He rolls over in the basket as it fills with holes, shouting, "You missed, suckers!" And then the hot air balloon lazily floats away, and then it hits a power line, exploding instantly. Meanwhile, as news of Deadpool's break-in spreads, Rogue listens and sighs, stating that she's trying to ignore him, but now he has her full attention. The next day, 2 guards keeping watch over the city begin to see something in the sky. The first guard yells that it's a helicarrier, and the other one says, "Oh hell, are we under attack again?" And as they get a closer look, they see that it's him. Up in the sky, Deadpool is flying his newly acquired helicarrier, shouting, "Come on, New York! Come and get me!" The second guard asks if they should call it in, and the first tells him no. It's just Deadpool. If we just ignore him, he'll go away. Deadpool looks down at the guards doing nothing, and he says that it looks like they found out ignoring him is his kryptonite. Just then, there's a green flash that shoots by, punching Deadpool off the ledge, barely giving him enough time to catch himself. He looks up and says, "Hello, sugar." And Rogue tells him, "Don't give me any sass, I'm not in the mood." Deadpool asks if she's here to pick up where they left off. I must say, I do like a little warm-up before the rough stuff. She reaches down to help Deadpool up, stating, "A swing and a miss. I'm here to take you in." So he tells her, if that's the case, then I'm afraid I gotta bounce. And he lets go off the ledge. She watches and says that she should let it happen, but she flies down grabbing Deadpool before he hits the ground. He tells her that he always knew that he would be safe in her arms. And Rogue says, "That's strike 2, let's go." As she does, Deadpool's body slingshots into a fish truck. And he asks, "Did you know that you were throwing me into the stinky truck?" She tells him, yeah, she had a choice between this or a pillow truck, so she went with this one. She lifts the truck to slide Deadpool out, and as she does, Deadpool makes a break for it, trying to jump over her. Rogue grabs him by the leg, slamming him back onto the ground, stating that if he would just work with them, he could probably get a lighter sentence. Deadpool then jumps up and shouts, "You're just like the rest! Everyone's always trying to control me! You never cared about me, and I never cared about you! I would never date anyone who dated Gambit!" Deadpool punches Rogue a few times in the face, clearly not doing anything to her. And she tells him that she doesn't need to have a makeup party with him to know that that's a lie. After they beat the Skull, she saw the good, the bad, and the ugly in him. She knows that he's the type of guy who would go through hell for his friends, and right now, he's just pushing everyone away. Deadpool stops and says, "Well, shut up. You're right. Hell, I would even probably date Gambit, but I wouldn't want to make it weird between us." She laughs, asking, "Do you know why there isn't anything between us?" And Deadpool says, "Because I killed it." And Rogue tells him, "Deader than Coulson." But just then, Rogue punches Deadpool, shouting, "That was for Coulson." The force of the punch launches Deadpool into the air and up into a nearby building. He gets up, stating that they would have been so good together. She flies up, telling him, yeah, 2 unkillable people just hurting each other non-stop. Deadpool then reaches into one of his pouches and says, "Speaking of invulnerability, catch." He throws a small thermite bomb into Rogue's face and tells her, "The blindness should be temporary, or at least I hope it is. Or maybe this could be a new origin story for you." He grabs his grappling gun and takes aim, telling her, "I'm sorry. I know I blew it with you." And Rogue yells, "No, you blew it for yourself. Just make sure you keep the promise to the girl. Don't let my sins keep you from doing the right thing. If she needs you, be there." Rogue tells him, they will. I don't have many new mutants. As Rogue hears the wire retracting, she swings aimlessly, yelling that she will see him again. She will find him. And Deadpool tells her, "I have no doubt. Go easy on me. I'm gonna be a very different guy then. Goodbye, Anna Marie." She quietly says, "Goodbye, Wade," and then wanders off to the water tower to wash her face off. A voice asks if she's gonna be alright, and she tells the person that he's late, they just missed Deadpool. The voice asks if she's hurt, and she says the only thing that is hurt is her pride. She just said to try and get through to him. He was her friend before everything went to hell. But anyway, she's neck deep in X-Men stuff. And the voice says that they completely understand. As Rogue flies away, Captain America tells her, "Leave Deadpool to me. Deadpool's a mess that I need to clean up." A short while later, in another part of town, Madcap sings and dances at the Schaefer Theater to finally ruin Deadpool's life, except the theater's already been destroyed, and he yells, "Of all the rotten luck! The Avengers' old pals must have beat me to it! Come, dancing mob, let's go find Deadpool!" If you don't know who Madcap is, he's Deadpool's actual arch nemesis in this entire arc. There's many videos in the playlist that involve Deadpool fighting against him and Madcap trying to get back at Deadpool. It's Madcap trying to kill Deadpool's family that started this entire situation with Strife, because as Madcap tried to kill Deadpool's family, he had to contact somebody in the future to help him, and Cable was unavailable. So he had to get a hold of Strife, who is now sending Deadpool off to go kill other people as a way to return the favor of saving Deadpool's family. Anyway, Madcap sings and dances over to the Preston's home and finds that it too has been destroyed. And he's confused. Huh? Something really bad must have happened. After stopping by a coffee shop to read The Secrets of the Secret Empire, Madcap says, "Oh, something really bad did happen." Madcap then tosses the book into the trash, stating, "That sucks. I wanted to destroy Deadpool's life, not turn the rubble of his life into a slightly smaller pile of rubble." Deadpool then shouts, You thought you could destroy me? I say nay! And Deadpool runs Madcap over with a horse and carriage. Madcap starts laughing, telling him, haha, looks like you're giving the horse a ride. Be careful, anyone who gets close to Deadpool doesn't live very long. Deadpool then starts shooting Madcap, asking, and whose fault is that? You're the one who tried to kill my family. As Deadpool jumps off the horse, it begins to panic and it runs out into traffic, getting hit by a car. And Madcap boops Deadpool on the nose. Boop! See what I mean? Now I should be off to go beat that dead horse. Deadpool pulls out his katanas and cuts Madcap's arm off, telling him, this time I prepared for you. I went to space looking for a weapon that would kill you. Madcap grabs his arm and reattaches it, telling him, oh, that's so thoughtful of you. Deadpool pulls out a small device, pressing the button, telling him to shut up. You're about to get the ending that you deserve. As Deadpool hits the button, Madcap begins to fight back, hitting Deadpool in the throat, then kicking him in the face. The two go back and forth, hitting each other until finally a bright light appears. Deadpool rubs his eyes after being poked in them, and he says, meet the Collector! The Collector says, ah, an indestructible clown. At the same time, both Deadpool and Madcap look back, asking, yes? The Collector tells Rhiannon to go please test the specimen. Rhiannon tells him of course and pulls out a sword, cutting off Madcap's head. He catches his own head laughing, and Rhiannon says that they'll see if he can survive this. Suddenly, Madcap bursts into flames, and as the flames go out, Madcap pops on his original form, stating, ta-da! The Collector then encases Madcap in a clear box, stating that the specimen is just as Deadpool said. Let us leave. Deadpool starts laughing, stating, you thought you could destroy me? Like that would ever happen. Now you're going to spend an eternity at some nutbird's private zoo. Madcap's eyes light up like stars and he says, I've always wanted to go to space, and I love zoos. Deadpool yells, wait, what? Madcap shrugs, stating, I'm actually bored of this. I just wanted to make your life a living hell, but this is perfect. Deadpool yells to the Collector to wait, and the Collector tells him, I'm afraid not. This unique and wonderful light form will make a fine addition to my collection. Madcap laughs, yelling, thank you, Deadpool, for releasing me from your terrible orbit. I owe it all to you. And then the Collector and Madcap disappear, with Deadpool sighing that his plan did not go according to plan. Then he hears a payphone ringing. He picks it up and asks, are they like ringing phone booths in his area? Actually, never mind. Who's next? And don't say Evan. Strife tells him to look up. There's a picture of the target, and there's no getting out of this. One more screw up and the kid dies. Deadpool reaches up to see a picture taped to the ceiling, and as he pulls it down, he sees it's Evan. Later, that stormy night, a young boy runs through the streets and is accidentally bumping into a couple. He falls and the woman asks if he's okay. Oh God! Evan with a dart in his shoulder looks up and tells the couple that they need to run away. Deadpool's trying to kill me! And the woman tells him, we won't let him do that. And the man asks, what are they going to do about it? Deadpool hits the man and the woman in the back of the head, telling them, you're going to do nothing. He puts his sword away, and Evan asks, what happened to my powers? Deadpool points a gun at Evan, and he says, you were hit with a drug that suppresses them. Don't struggle. It'll be over in just a moment. Evan then asks, did I do something wrong? Is this something that I'm going to do? And Deadpool tells him, no, it's all on me this time. Meanwhile, over at Strife's hideout, he quietly says, come on. And a second later, the Genesis marker on his map of mutants fades, and he presses a button. Just then, Deadpool's teleported to the hideout, and Strife tells him, well done. Shooting the boy must have been hard. Deadpool coldly tells him, no, it wasn't. I'll give me the next name, and you better hope that we never meet again. Strife pushes the button to send Deadpool away, telling him, this one's going to be easy. It's a civilian named Marionette Nelson. As Deadpool teleports back to the streets, the couple starts to wake up, and he just knocks them back out before heading into a back alley. Deadpool smacks a human Evan, telling him, wake up, I owe you an explanation. And Evan yells, damn right you do, what did you do? Deadpool tells him, you're a real boy now, but don't sweat it, it's not permanent. It's a drug developed by a scientist named Butler. It suppresses X genes for a short while. He was a brilliant man until I murdered him to death. But come on, did you really think I was going to kill you? If you really thought I was going to kill you, you would have called the X-Men, right? Evan stares at him and says, I did. And a second later, Colossus bursts through the wall, punching Deadpool through another wall and into a sporting goods store. Deadpool groans, stating, I like that guy better in the movies. And then Kitty Pryde phases in, telling him that it's taking every ounce of her self-control not to phase him into the ground. Deadpool gets up and charges at her, telling her, sorry, but I'm late for a blind date, or a date to the blind. I haven't really decided yet. Kitty grabs a bat and Deadpool tells her, I've been hit with more bats than you can count. And Kitty tells him, oh, I'm not gonna swing it. She phases the bat inside of Deadpool's chest and then lets go, and once it turns back to solid, Deadpool screams out in pain. He continues to run, and Kitty grabs him by the shoulder just as he's about to jump through a window. He then yells, don't do me like this! And Kitty then shouts, hush now. and she lets go. Deadpool becomes solid in the glass, and he screams again, falling to the ground with the pieces of glass still inside of him, and he gets up yelling, "Oh God, there's glass in my ass!" And Evan asks why. Colossus tells him it doesn't matter, and Evan says, "No, it does. Why did you do it?" And Deadpool sits up telling him he'd kill Ellie. Hell, he may still kill her when he finds out that I didn't kill you, but I'm doing it for the girl. Colossus gets ready to hit Deadpool again, but Evan tells him to wait. Deadpool then pulls the bat out of his chest, stating, "It's my daughter. She's gonna be a mutant one day, that is if she survives being my kid." And Kitty yells, "You're wanted for murder. You're not walking away from this." Deadpool reaches into his pouch, stating, "It's exactly what I'm doing." He tosses the grenade at Evan for him to catch, and he tells Kitty that she better get to phasing. Kitty grabs both Evan and Colossus just before the grenade goes off, and as they look around, Deadpool's nowhere to be found. Later, in the apartment of Marionette Nelson, Marionette suddenly wakes up asking, "Who's there?" Over in the shadows, Deadpool pulls shards of glass out, stating, "My name is Wade Wilson, and I owe you an apology. I didn't mean to wake you, but I'm not on top of my game right now. Someone wanted you dead, and I didn't want to do it. But that person was going to kill my daughter if I didn't. No one deserves me, I just kinda happen to people." Marionette begins to cry, asking, "Isn't there any way you can save us both?" And Deadpool grabs the last shard, telling her, "I know it really doesn't matter, but I'm really sorry." Marionette asks what's her name, and Deadpool tells her Ellie. As he gets up, Marionette sobs that maybe this isn't the worst end. A middle-aged woman dies so a young girl can survive. Will it hurt? Deadpool takes Marionette's hand, telling her, "No, I already did it." And just as he says that, her eyes roll back into her head, and she falls back down onto the bed. Deadpool walks out of the apartment, and he already knows who's there. His heavy boots hitting the roof above, but he's already too late. The red, white, and the blue flash hits Deadpool in the face, bouncing off the wall and then back into Captain America's hand. Cap looks at him and he says that he's sorry that this all went horribly wrong for him. But it ends now. Deadpool tells him that he can't do that, there's one more item on his bucket list. And Cap tells him, "Then you better prepare to have some good old-fashioned sense knocked into that head of yours." Deadpool jumps up, slashing at Cap's shield, and Cap yells, "You're making this worse." And Deadpool says, "I know, that's my superpower." Cap knocks Deadpool back, telling him, "You have every right to be upset." And Deadpool begins shooting back, shouting, "Everything that's happened is your fault." Cap knocks the bullets away and then asks, "Murdering Coulson sound like something I would ever say?" And Deadpool charges in, telling him, "Yes! I've heard you say it with your own voice. You kept climbing the ladder until you got to the top and you became the guy who decides who lives or dies." As Deadpool punches Cap a few more times, Cap ducks the last hit, telling him, "Those were free, and they're gonna be the last that are gonna land." Deadpool pulls out a katana and he swings it, breaking it across Cap's shield. So Cap kicks Deadpool back, and as Deadpool catches himself, he throws the broken sword at Cap's foot, asking, "Would you even be having this conversation if I was Black Widow? No, right? She would get a pass, but for me, nope." Cap kneels to block the sword and he says, "How about we not deal with the hypotheticals? I saw a lot of potential in you." But before Cap can finish, Deadpool runs in, punching him, shouting, "Give me a break! You didn't care about me until you lost the super soldier serum. Logan died and you needed another obedient torpedo." Cap cracks the shield across Deadpool's jaw, telling him, "I feel terrible that you got duped. So were a lot of other people." Cap then sweeps Deadpool's legs out from underneath him, and as he picks him up, he puts him in cuffs. He tells Deadpool, "I watched the security footage from the prison. You showed a lot of restraint, leaving my evil doppelganger alive." Deadpool waits until the cuffs are on him, and then he asks, "You know who wins if I kill Hydra Cap?" He then flicks his head back, bashing into Cap. "You!" Deadpool pops his thumb out of place, grabbing his other katana, telling him, "You wouldn't have to spend the rest of your days looking over your shoulder for a doppelganger. I would never kill Steve-O, but I didn't want you to know that. You want him dead, you could do it yourself." Deadpool pushes the katana close to Cap's neck, and Cap grabs him by the chest strap, flipping him over, slamming him into the ground, telling him, "Just shut up." Deadpool groans, stating, "The only way you're gonna stop me is put that sword through me." So Cap grabs it, telling him, "As unpleasant as that sounds, I don't want to fight anymore." He stabs the sword down into Deadpool's back, asking, "Are you happy now?" And as he does that, he looks over and sees a group of kids with their phones all taking pictures. One of the kids even states, "I knew he was no good." And the kids run off with Cap yelling, "Wait, I can explain." Deadpool yells to the kids, "I'm paralyzed! Send help! Sell the pictures to Jonah! They're brutalizing me!" And Cap looks back, asking, "How could you? Shame on you for baiting me like that." And Deadpool gets back up, telling him, "You know, I don't just blame you." Cap yells, "Great! Because I'm not the one to blame." And Deadpool runs off telling him, I blame myself. I know now that I shouldn't have trusted you as much as I did. He jumps into the sewers and Cap follows closely behind, yelling, look at how many innocent people are harmed in your wake, Wade. Deadpool continues running, telling him, I know, just keep up. There's something I want to show you. Cap turns the corner and he sees Deadpool's underground hideout. And he asks, is this supposed to make me feel bad? Deadpool calls out, I don't care how you feel about it, but that box next to you, that's what I wanted to give you. Cap knocks the lock off the chest, and as he opens it, he says, hell, Wade. Down in the box is Preston's mangled LMD body, and Deadpool steps out stating, nobody's my friend for long. You can fix her. Cap tells him S.H.I.E.L.D's disbanded. I'm not sure if, and then he stops him shouting, you're Captain freaking America! Make America fix her! Cap tells him that he'll see what he can do, but he's noticed the explosives planted to the support beams. Deadpool pulls out a device telling him, I'm walking out of here. And if you try to come, I'm gonna drop a square block down on you. You'll probably survive, but the office workers won't. Cap steps forward telling him, I'm calling your bluff. So Deadpool presses down on the button telling him, watch how many craps I have left to give. One of the beams explodes, causing water to fill the room, and Cap yells, you're out of your mind. So Deadpool tells him, attaboy, Captain Obvious. Now this detonator is a dead man's switch. If my thumb comes off of this, all the columns are gonna blow. If I take my finger off this button, it'll be Captain America. You want me off the board? Good, because that's what I want too. My demand is very reasonable. Make one thing right. Fix Preston. She's the only person I'll surrender to. Until then, it's me against the world. And the world is gonna take it up the tailpipe. And there you have it, guys. Deadpool's last wish is for Agent Preston to be fixed. But that now leads to the entire Marvel Universe trying to kill Deadpool. And to the eventual end of Deadpool. Subscribe to our channel because we'll be covering that over the next couple of weeks and we will be concluding this. So if you want to know how the Deadpool story ends, because it definitively ends, stick around. And thank you for joining us today.